Drink. 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 Sigma Kappa Delta. Drink. Damn it, bro. Drink. Yeah. Now you gotta make it or you lose. YOLO. Yeah.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Our Drunken History. Coming to you live from our living room again, because we can. Tonight, our topic is going to be college drinking games.
Yeah, we figured it was back to school time of the year, so a lot of kids going off to their freshman year of college. They're
Getting ready for rush week.
getting ready to, maybe some of these fraternity houses are getting ready to start their hazing rituals.
Yeah.
Wait, you can't haze.
You can't haze anymore, guys. Don't do it. It's
Initiations, how about that? Yeah.
We'll go with that one. Yeah. But just so you're aware, I know Trav and I were both military, and we drink you college kids under the table.
Yeah, some of the dorm parties, the barracks parties that we had, I think would rival a frat party any day.
I've been to both. You can't keep up with military guys. We're
Built different.
We're too dumb. We're just too dumb. Because we're doing college, we're going to drink college beer, and also because we just like it. We're doing Natty Light again, guys. It's a fan favorite.
You go to a dorm party anywhere in the country, I bet you there'll probably be a case of Natty Light there.
Yeah, there should be if there's not. If there isn't, they're not doing it right.
Yeah.
When I lived in North Carolina, me and my roommate Pat, we had a whole refrigerator full of Natty Light. There's pictures of it.
Oh yeah, we had built like a wall out of empty cans. Just lined the wall with cans, or we would did the office chair jousting in the hallways.
Yep.
With beer boxes as armor.
Yep. Yeah.
So yeah, there's lots of shenanigans that went on during some of those parties.
It got reckless.
Yeah.
To pay homage to college in general,
Yeah.
we're outfitted in our college gear from the state we were born. Old Trav here is wearing Arkansas Razorbacks.
Representing the Razorbacks.
Whoa pig suey, as they say.
It's woo pig suey.
Hey.
Woo pig.
Woo pig. And I am obviously representing the state of Montana as I do. Montana Grizzlies. My whole dad's side of my family is Grizz grads. So
Grizz grads. That's a pretty good.
I think I just made that up.
That's awesome.
On the spot.
You need to trademark that.
I may. No, we were all. I grew up a Montana Grizz fan, and I have a funny story for you about this before we get going.
All right.
When I got down here, going through the gate the very first time, the cop stopped me to check my military ID, and I have not even on my old truck. I had a University of Montana Grizz logo.
Yeah.
Across the license plate thing. Well, there's a school here in Fort Smith, Arkansas, the Northside Grizzlies, a high school. And I came through and that guy said, Northside, huh? and I said, what? And he said, the Grizz. And I said, no, man, University of Montana. And he said, they have colleges there?
They have colleges.
And I said, yeah, man. I said, I can't guarantee this. I don't have facts to back it up, but I think there's colleges in every state now. And he said, oh. And he goes, do they have a football team? I said, yeah. He said, are they good? I said, well, they're a FCS school. They're not an FBS school. I said, but for an FCS school, yeah, they're really good. You know, they've gotten a few national championships in their division or whatever you want to call it. I said, but yeah, they're very good. And they've put some guys in the NFL. And he said, you ready for real football? And Arkansas is pretty good now, but when I first got here, they were bad. And I said, are you
Still getting used to it.
Yeah, I said, are you talking about the Razorbacks? And he goes, yeah.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm pretty sure the Grizz kicked the shit out of the Razorbacks if they played. And he got really pissed off at me.
Well, at the time, that was the Chad Morris years. They probably could have. That was a dark time in Razorback history, right
And the
there.
Grizz were pretty good then. Yeah, they were all right.
There's probably some high school teams that probably gave us a run for our money back then.
They were bad. They're good now. Pittman's doing it right, man.
Yeah.
I like him a lot.
He's
I'm
done
a
some
fan,
really good job recruiting. So I'm anxious to see how this year turns out.
They're ranked.
Yeah.
They were ranked 19th preseason.
They're ranked in the preseason polls already, so that's good. I'm anxious to see how it goes.
Bobby Houck's back with the Grizz where he should be. He was a great coach, and then he left to go coach UNLV.
Oh, okay.
Didn't have a very good run there. Then he moved on to San Diego State as offensive coordinator and did pretty well. And then there was a coaching vacancy back in Montana, so he's back where he should be.
Okay.
Back leading the Grizz.
So
hopefully we both win a national championship this year. That'd be great.
That would be awesome. We'll call it right
The
now.
Grizz do come down and play basketball down here. I went to go see them play.
Yeah, that's right. Actually, I think it was 2 years ago, they were supposed to play football, and it was the COVID year when they canceled the rest of the season or something like that.
I would have paid a year's salary to go watch that.
That's what it was. It was they'd canceled all the non-conference games when they played that conference-only schedule.
Yep.
So yeah, that would have been a good game to watch.
It would have. Have you ever tailgated at a college game?
Not at a football game. I've tailgated out at a baseball game.
Yeah, I've done the baseball games. I went to, they call it the Brawl of the Wild. It's when University of Montana plays Montana State.
Oh, okay.
And it is, guys, it's a rivalry game that is right up there with any of them in the country. I know it's two smaller schools, but they are bloodthirsty.
That's good. That's the rivalries that are true rivalries. When it comes to college athletics, I mean, those are the ones that are the great games to watch because usually the games are chippy. There's
man. They are. Penn State, Ohio State's a great one. We're gonna have to add that. Ohio State, Michigan is a really good one.
Yeah.
You got Oregon and Oregon State is the Civil War.
Yeah, you got the Auburn, Alabama.
Yeah.
The
Big brother, little brother.
Yeah, it's those games because then you have some of these made up rivalries that the media tries to push and it's supposed to.
Yeah, don't mess with a good thing, guys.
Yeah,
I know you're money hungry, but
one thing I'm looking forward
just
to
ruining it
is when Oklahoma and Texas are joining the SEC here in a couple of years, and that will bring back the Arkansas-Texas rivalry.
I hope it picks up where it left off.
Every time we play Texas, it's a huge game. Huge turnouts. The last time we played Texas in Fayetteville, we beat the shit out of them, and all the crowd stormed the field after the game.
Yeah, they got that big fine. yeah. And Texas was ranked like 4th at the time.
Yeah, they were ranked pretty high, and we came out and dominated that game. It was a really good game.
I know for years, Montana and Boise State had a big rivalry. Then Boise State jumped up to the Western Athletic Conference.
Yeah.
And they have been trying for quite a long time to get the Grizz to jump up. They just won't do it because it would hurt in-state recruiting.
Yeah, probably so. I can see that. You got a good thing going where you're at. I mean, I wouldn't. If it's not broke, don't fix it.
Well, now the way that things are going with the super conferences, you never know what's going to happen.
No.
Anyway, we'll get back on track here, guys. We tend to go on these tangents, but hopefully that one was an entertaining one.
Hey, I mean, we're still talking about college at least.
That's right.
And so when you're not tailgating or at a ball game or maybe going to class, you're in the dorm partying probably.
Yeah.
So some of the big party games, the number one thing that comes up is beer pong. We have some cups set up on the table.
Yeah.
That's a and depending on what part of the country you're from, I didn't even know this, but it's also called Beirut. Have you heard of that?
I have not heard of that.
So, beer pong, you set the cups up in a triangle type fashion. Yeah. You have teams at either end of a table.
Question: to bounce or not to bounce?
Well, so that's one thing I saw. Like there's each house, you got house rules.
Yeah, house rules.
And
well, what do you prefer?
I've played it both, but I've always played it if you bounce, the other team can slap your ball away if you bounce. So there's a few different.
I think the way we played it is you could blow on it, but you couldn't actually like make physical contact with it.
Well, there was a rule too called finger in the cups or blow in the cups. If you have a ball, like if you imagine like you're shooting a basketball and the ball rolls around the rim. So if that happens with your ping pong ball when you throw it and it's rolling around the rim of a cup, you can finger it out or blow it out to keep it from going in. You got to blow the cups.
Yeah, I don't like that one, guys.
And I played it where they're talking about the bouncing. If you bounce it and the opposing team is paying attention, they can smack it away.
Yeah, but that seems like a way to just spill all the beer.
That's true. Which I think the thing that goes with that rule, because there's risk involved, if you bounce it and make it, I think it eliminates 2 cups. When I've played that.
Really?
Because
it's interesting to go place to place and hear the different house rules. It really is. And I'm sure that it's spawned many an argument.
There is. Well, the great thing about beer pong, and you can look this up and you can look up the rules, because there's actually several different variations of the rules. And you know what's fun though? Like, I play it with my kids. But we play with water. And
way to be responsible.
We're responsible.
Be responsible, guys.
But
play with water when you're playing beer pong with your kids.
We set up the dining room table, and we just played to eliminate the cups.
Did you? Okay, so let me ask you this. This is a rule that we had. The douche cup.
Oh yeah.
If you accidentally make it in the douche cup, did you have to drink it?
I've heard that, yeah.
We had that rule at my house.
Oh,
in North Carolina, yeah, and it was disgusting because that thing would get covered in fucking hair. And
had everybody's fingers in it.
It was fucking gross, man, but I guzzled that motherfucker.
So a variation of the game that people play at tailgates now is, we call it at my house, we call it bucket ball. And you get 5-gallon buckets and the little mini basketballs. And you shoot them, and to figure out your distance, and you eliminate the buckets. So
there's a casino in Vegas called the Gold Spike.
Yeah.
Off the Strip. Have you been?
Yeah, it's been several years, but yeah, I've been down there.
They play it there, where they have 55-gallon drums.
Oh, okay.
And basketballs.
Yeah.
And you gotta.
Because that place, they had like giant Jenga too. They had
giant Jenga. And then they also had cornhole, but you throw like actual like couch pillows.
Couch cushion. Yeah, that's a pretty good setup, and that's a good idea for a bar. Like a lot of bars have like a little game area.
Oh yeah.
I mean, having games like that you could. There's some places talking about beer pong, and it got so popular that some places, some jurisdictions and local municipalities have outlawed it in bars.
Really?
So like, you can still play it at home or whatever, but they've outlawed it where you can't play it in public.
Yeah, there was a bar in Billings called Hooligans that we used to go play it at whenever I was home on leave.
Yeah, there's some places that the stipulation is if you played it, you had to play it with water. You couldn't play like the drinking game version of it or whatever.
Oh.
Because there's some colleges that tried to outlaw it, or you could play in public. You had to play indoors.
How the hell would they enforce that? I mean,
there's no way. Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's see here. Hey, look, there was because the history of it. Okay, there it is, right there.
Yeah, where did beer pong originate? Where did it come from?
Okay, so from what I found, beer pong, they said it has its origins probably back to the 50s or 60s with beer pong played with paddles, where you had to make it in the cups by hitting it with the paddle. But then
that'd be fucking hard. I'm terrible at ping pong.
Yeah, well, and they showed that version of it. Have you seen the movie Beer Fest? The guys that made, so they had the beer pong with paddles in that game.
Yeah, they did. That's
movie.
Right. Yeah.
But so it's credited to Bucknell University. Their student-run newspaper, the Bucknellian, says that the Delta Upsilon fraternity is the ones that created throw Pong, which was a version in the 1980s of the classic paddle ping pong.
Yeah.
And it kind of evolved into what it is now from that, where you throw the ping pong ball into the cup. And since it was in the 80s, and that's how it also has the name Beirut, that was back during the, what was it, the Lebanon Civil War happened in the 80s. And
Why would you commemorate that?
Yeah.
That's terrible.
Or not the Lebanon, the Lebanese Civil War was in the 80s. And the capital being Beirut, that's what I guess somehow that name stuck with it too. But I'd never heard of that until I started doing
Yeah,
it.
I never heard of that one either.
I
If
guess-
you guys have ever heard of that,
Yeah, leave a comment
Yeah.
and tell where you're from, because it seems like it's a regional name where some people call it beer pong, some people call it Beirut, and then there's some other throw pong, which I've never heard of that one
I
either.
haven't either.
But so it seems like it's been around at least since the 80s in the present form that it is now. And it's a fun game. Kids
Yeah.
of all ages and adults
With water.
with water. Yeah, that was another thing. So in the 90s, or early 2000s, Anheuser-Busch started packaging a beer pong set with the cups and ping pong balls and all that in like a little package.
Yeah.
But it was packaged on there to be done responsibly and play not as a drinking game, but just as a game with water. And but everybody that they talked to that bought the game, nobody played with water. They played with beer.
I mean, let's get real.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's cool, guys. There's all kinds of games that you can play that are college related. Beer pong being one of them, but there was a game that we used to play.
I had one more fact.
yeah,
sorry,
yeah. Sorry,
I
you're
gotta
fine.
find it. It's all right. Prince and Leagues right there. All right, sorry. So the one final fact that I thought was actually pretty neat on beer pong was there's actually beer pong leagues and tournaments, and there's actually a sanctioned league, the World Series of Beer Pong League, and they have the championship in Las Vegas. And a few years ago, they had it at the Flamingo Hotel, and they had 800 participants show up for this beer pong
Jesus.
tournament with a grand prize of $50,000 going to the winner of the beer pong tournament.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So they have the Cornhole World Series down there now
Yeah.
too. So that's another tailgate and college game that gets played. But
Yeah.
I thought it was $50,000 for
beer
beer
pong.
pong. I mean, that's nuts.
That's great.
Yeah. I love it.
I would play it just to say I played in it.
Yeah.
I mean, winning would be cool, but just playing it would be cool.
Yeah, I played in the World Series of beer pong.
Yeah.
Or just say I played in
Put
the
that
World
shit
Series.
on my resume. There's another game that is not widely known that is also played with. Well, I will get to this.
Okay.
The ping pong ball thing reminded me of this. I did not even plan on bringing this up,
Okay.
but it was a tournament that my friends and I would play. My buddy Pat, my old roommate, his brother was in a fraternity in Colorado, and Pat went home on leave. We were both stationed in North Carolina together, and when he came back, he said, "I got to show you this game I learned." And I was like, "Okay, I like games." It's called peep jousting.
What?
Peep jousting. So we took it full bore.
Yeah.
So we would wait until right before Easter, and we would go buy a fuckload of peeps. Those little marshmallow bags.
Yeah.
And say you and I are going to peep joust.
Okay.
Trav, you take your peep and I take mine. And we draw on them with permanent marker. And then we put them on a paper plate. And we put them in the microwave. And you set it for like a minute.
Okay.
And they expand and they deform. And then one of them will eventually cave in. Just and that's the loser.
That's the loser.
So we would go to get March Madness brackets.
Oh man.
And then we would get 64 people together
Yeah.
and fill out these brackets. And it would be, you move on and then you get a new peep each round.
Yeah.
And we never once made it past the third round. because by then you're all shit-faced. And then you just start throwing random stuff in the microwave.
Oh, heck yeah.
So it always starts with the CD.
Oh, yeah.
Have you ever seen a CD in a microwave? And you're like, everybody's seen it, but let's do it.
Oh, yeah.
So you throw a CD in there and it's lightning.
There's videos of it on YouTube. It's fun to watch.
It is. So you throw your CD in there, and then pretty soon you throw in other stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I've seen condoms in the microwave. I've seen eggs in the microwave. But the coolest thing I have ever seen in a microwave in my life is a ping pong ball.
I've heard that it's like a light show, or the gas that's inside of them.
If you guys want to scare the fuck out of yourselves and you have a microwave that you don't care about, put a ping pong ball in it. Because it will deform and roll around a little bit, and then that bitch explodes in a ball of fire. And man, I had like 300 people clear out of my house in North Carolina because of a ping pong ball explosion.
That's awesome.
And me and Pat stayed, and he opened the door, and I just threw my beer in the microwave.
So shout out to another YouTuber. He's way bigger than us. Demolition Ranch.
Yeah.
When he started, his channel was starting out pretty new. He had a segment, Microwave Mondays, and he would put random shit in the microwave. And like he put live ammunition in a microwave.
Oh shit.
He put paint cans. I think he even put a grenade. He went to like a bomb range and got
that's ballsy.
Put a live grenade in a microwave and turned it. It blew up. Or I think the grenade didn't do anything, but the ammunition blew up.
My cousin Travis, when he was a kid, he had a babysitter and she fell asleep, and he put G.I. Joes in the microwave. She was sleeping on the couch.
Oh man, that stink! That melted plastic.
Oh yeah. There was just like a little mound, like a charcoal in there. Yeah, guys, there's a lot of other games. There's quarters is a big one.
Quarters, and that was actually pretty neat. Some of the history we found out about quarters, and if anybody's played, and that's another one. Not only with beer pong, but quarters. There's, depending on where you're at and who you play with and the house rules, there's 10 different ways to play quarters, but usually it involves two people opposing each other and bouncing a quarter into a glass.
Shot glass. Yeah.
And then if you make your quarter, the other person drinks, or you can play teams.
Yeah.
And there's a bunch of different variations of it. But they said the history of that actually kind of goes all the way back to the ancient Greeks. And it wasn't...
We were like bouncing seashells into there?
Well, they said it kind of stemmed off, they wasn't bouncing the seashells, but they had actually, with the whatever's left in a wine cup, they would fling it out of the cup at targets and try to hit stuff. And that started the throwing things to try to hit a target. And so they some of these drinking games kind of stemmed back from that, they said.
That is really cool that a drinking game has that much, not just that it came from back then, but that people have kept up the records on this.
Oh yeah, that people, somebody probably wrote their master's thesis on the history of drinking games.
More power to them, man. That's a good one. That's a good one. I support it.
Yeah, some of the other variations, though, if you're playing, instead of taking a drink, or you take a drink, but then you get to make up a rule if you make it. Or if you make it, you can tell somebody else to drink.
Yeah. We used to, have you heard of asshole? Or some people call it presidents and assholes.
I've heard of it, but I don't remember the rules. That was one that we really didn't play.
That was a game that we played all the time.
Okay.
In North Carolina. And we would get like 15 people deep sometimes around the table playing this game. We went nuts. We went overboard. Yeah, and some need to play with 2 decks. It's a card game, and it's where you shuck cards. Your goal is to get down to no cards the fastest.
Yeah.
And if you do, you're the president. Whoever's in last place is called the asshole. And the asshole has to shuffle and deal the cards.
Okay, yeah.
The president gets to make up a rule if they win, and it carries throughout.
Okay, yeah.
And it's been a long time. I'm a little foggy on it. I think you could either eliminate a rule or make a new one.
Yeah. Okay.
But while the asshole is dealing cards, they got to tell whoever around the table to drink while they were dealing.
Okay.
With knowing that they were going to take it in the back end when they're done dealing, because now the president gets to tell them what to do.
Yeah.
Because the president can tell anybody to drink.
Yeah.
Throughout the game.
Yeah, I think I played something similar to that. I don't remember. It might have been that game. The card game that we actually played a lot was King's Cup. Have you ever heard of that?
I have heard of it. I've never played it.
And there's different rules, but you play with cards. So I think some variations, some people call it Circle of Death, and there's different ways to deal the cards and different things. But basically, you put a cup, an empty cup in the middle of the field, or in the middle of the table, and you got everybody around it. Put all the cards face down, and just people take turns drawing cards. And each card, I'll put the chart up of what each card and the rules that I found shows. But each card has a rule or a task to it that you do. One of them was like if you pull one card, like a 4 girls drink. If you pull a 5 boys drink.
Oh, I think I have played that.
One of them is
5 for guys. Yeah.
If you pull whatever card, you have to finish your drink.
I do remember that. I did play that game.
So the thing we played though too, in all the other cards, there's several different rules, but the main thing, you draw a king, you have the big cup in the middle of the table, you draw a king and you pour whatever you have in that cup, and then the very last person to draw a king has to drink that cup.
Oh no!
So and everybody else is drinking whatever their drink is, so it could be just a mixture of random shit in the cup, and then you got to down it.
Jeez, that sounds terrible.
Yeah, and I've played it before too, where people would put hot sauce in it, or different things, or
you played with some dicks.
Oh yeah, it got wild. And I think like the first round we would play was normal, and then we would get drunk, and then we would start making up extra shit.
Being shitty people.
Yeah, just trying to cause mayhem.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there, and that's the thing too. Looking at this, I mean, there is. I Googled or I went on Wikipedia and just searched drinking games.
Yeah.
And there's a list.
Well, there's got to be a million of them out there. Stuff that you just have never even heard of.
Never heard of them, but there was a list of over 100 on Wikipedia.
Yeah, we played one a couple times. It's called Smoke, Fire, High or Low. It's a card game.
I've never heard of that.
And it's where you just basically pile all your cards together. You shuffle them real good, and then you stack, and you have to call.
Oh, okay.
So you got a 25% chance, basically, of getting it right. Because you either have to say smoke is black, fire is red, or higher or lower, and then you pull the card and you gotta.
Oh, okay.
If you get it right, you don't have to drink. But if you're wrong, you have to drink. So you got a 3 out of 4 chance.
Oh, okay.
Of drinking.
Man,
that would fuck you up quick.
That would. Yeah, there's another one we played, which I thought was neat, and you could. I've played it in the military a lot. Was Drunk Jenga? You ever done that?
No. Is it like regular Jenga?
Literal Jenga. Yeah, you play it, but so you get your the little pieces.
Yeah.
And you write rules on the piece.
Oh, that's a good idea.
So, and there's like a list of suggested rules, but give a drink, take a drink, finish your beer, whatever. You put a rule on all the pieces,
but you can't see it.
And you can't see them. So when you pull the piece, you have to do whatever the block says.
That's a good one.
And then when you place the piece, and if you knock the tower down,
you gotta finish your drink.
You gotta finish whatever it is you're drinking. Yeah.
That's a good one.
And like it gets because
we never even thought of that.
Oh yeah, it's great because there's some too, like you leave them. You like leave 2 or 3 of them where it says make up a rule, so you can make up your own shit as the game goes. And depending on how many people you have, it can get kind of wild. Like, cause there's one we played where it was, you gotta go streaking. Like you pull that one.
Oh Jesus! You guys took it to the 10th degree.
We took it, yeah. Or run around the building in your underwear or something like that.
Yeah, that's like, we didn't do. Our rule was like, if the president puts his thumb on the table.
Yeah. The last one.
The last one's got to,
Yep, we done that.
Got to drink, and then I don't remember all the rules, man. We had a whole bunch of them that we did.
We had one. One of the blocks that we put, it was the house hat, and we had one of those like carnival, like court jester hats or whatever. It
Yeah.
had the bells on it.
Yeah.
And that was, you had to wear that dumbass hat when you pulled that one for the rest of the game.
Yeah.
And that's kind of dumb, but.
That's one of them. We had they called the Little Green Man. We had to pretend you took a little green guy off your.
Oh,
and then
yeah.
You had to put him back on, and if you forgot, you had to finish
Yep.
your drink.
Yeah, and that's kind of the fun thing, because that's actually one of the things that I learned. If you want to be like an educational side of it, would be
Educational side.
so the dorm parties in the military. You know, you go and you have people from all different parts of the country, all different regions, and all
Yeah,
that
different
stuff.
walks of life. Yeah.
And you start playing a kind of a common game, like even like beer pong or a card game, and everybody has all these their own rules.
Yeah.
So we would play these games and have it would be mashed up of like 6 different house rules, and like, ooh, I like that rule. Let's play that one, and
Yeah.
I like that rule. So
That's fun though. That's how you expand. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nice.
So it was actually pretty neat getting to see how
Yeah.
different places did different things.
Yeah. Yeah, we did that. We took I had made a ping pong or a beer pong table and took it to my family reunion, and all my cousins are these like drunk ass cowboys, and they had never played beer pong.
Really?
And they fucking loved it.
So
There was like,
you started a new tradition.
yeah, man, they loved that shit. But I drove it up from Vegas. Like I threw it in my truck and took it all the way to Havre, Montana.
Oh, that is awesome.
Yeah, just to play beer pong with my drunk cousins, and they had never even heard of it. They fell in love with that game.
Never even heard of. And so to keep up with the college party, dorm party traditions, we got to drink our beer out of red Solo cups.
Which, incidentally, for those of you who are not in the know, Solo cups are not just a cup; they're also a measuring cup.
And I think, doesn't Solo deny that?
Solo
But why would
cup says do not use it as a shot glass. None of the measurements are shot glass measurements, but
We'll put a diagram of the cup up too and show you these measurements. But
Yeah.
it's a very
yeah,
peculiar coincidence.
the 1 ounce line is the bottom one. That is
Yeah.
the size of a shot of liquor, but it's just for measuring 1 ounce of water. Then the 5 ounce line is the next one up. That is what technically what a serving of wine is. Okay, I'm just gonna be straight with you what Solo says. 1 ounce is a shot of liquor. Their explanation is that's the portion of mouthwash you should use,
Oh yeah.
or the chocolate syrup needed to make chocolate milk. 5 ounces is what a serving of wine is. Solo recommends that's the daily serving of juice for a child. Also, a recommended serving of cereal.
But you know, it's probably the right amount of juice to mix like a vodka orange juice, probably too.
Yeah. 12 ounces. I don't know if you're aware. I'm sure you are. Normal beer can size.
Really, I did not know that.
That is the amount of water you should drink 5 times a day. Also, 1 ounce plus 1 ounce of grenadine plus 5 ounces of Sprite plus ice makes a great Shirley Temple. That's fucking A, Solo. You guys are inventive.
So this may be like them. They're probably purposely. It's either one of two things. They're either just trying to stay out of the doghouse and be politically correct, that, or they're just saying this to be a smartass.
I mean, you gotta have your lawyers on your side, guys.
Yeah.
What the hell was that?
My foot squeaking on the floor.
Jesus Christ! That Jason Voorhees coming.
You haven't watched the Friday the 13th episode. You have to go back and watch that. Yeah.
Yeah, we filmed it on Friday the 13th.
You know any other games?
I mean, not any other games, I would say. I just remember one thing I'm genuinely curious about is what is the longest keg stand you guys ever saw? My roommate, Pat, in North Carolina, did a 54-second keg stand. Until this day, it is one of the most amazing things I have ever seen in my fucking life. I think my record was like 32 seconds. I mean, he kicked the shit out of me. But he He did a 54-second keg stand. But I did want to tell a story, and this is one from my dad. I talk about my dad a lot. The guy's great. But we were actually talking today, and he was telling me a story about when he was in college at University of Montana. He was a Grizz, and his freshman year, he lived in the dorms, and one of his buddies, Monty, who has since passed away, but he came up to visit my dad in college, and they went out and got a pony keg, and they took it up in the elevator in their dorm, and the RA was just standing there, and there was a rule: there was no kegs in the dorms. So he said, "You guys can't have that here." It was a shitty RA, like fucking a dick face. But he said, "You guys can't have that here. You need to, get it out of the dorms." So they took it back down and they set it down below their window. My dad was on the 7th floor.
The 7th floor, okay.
They lowered a rope 7 floors down, and they pulled that keg all the way up.
Oh, that's funny.
7 stories up to their dorm room, so they could drink. And then everybody on the floor came over to hang out with them, and the RA showed up, and then he was cool with it because everybody was there and he was a puss.
He was just trying to inspire their creativity.
It worked, man. My dad was he didn't drink anymore. He hadn't drank in years, but he partied in college.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
That's 7th floor. They had a rope that long in their dorm room.
Well, I think they may have like gone to
oh man,
whatever store. I'm sure it wasn't Walmart, but
I can imagine them shredding a bed sheet and doing like a prison rope, braiding a bed sheet.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they got her up there though. Dedication.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Well, guys, I think
so. This kind of a quick episode, but well, we need to put out the statement. These drinking games, it's very easy to overindulge, and there's a lot of controversy around some of these, talking about how it encourages binge drinking, encourages bad decisions. But
that's true. So make sure that you guys are consuming your water while you're drinking. Follow Solo Cup's rules.
Yeah, drink your 12 5-ounce servings of water a day.
And eat some cereal.
Yeah, eat some cereal with the pre-measured amount out of your Solo Cup.
I'm going to do that in the morning.
There you go.
Some Raisin Bran.
Make sure if you do play some drinking games, if you have played too many games of beer pong, make sure you have a plan.
Yeah, guys. It's just, don't fuck up your future for one night of fun.
Yeah, that's right. And
that's a good one.
That's a good one, yeah. We appreciate you guys' support. The channel seems like it's growing every day, and it's that's directly in response to people that listen to the audio, that watch the YouTube videos.
Share it with a friend.
Share with a friend. We're going to keep expanding our horizons.
Yeah, we've done a couple of episodes that were suggestions now. And we've enjoyed it, man. It's been good. It's spread our horizons a little, which is fun.
Yeah, it's crazy because there's more and more subjects keep coming up too that I didn't even think of before, that we still have a lot of different ideas to cover still. So
yeah, we're gonna have to get a notebook.
Yeah. So
no, we really do appreciate it, guys. Please hit us up. Like, subscribe. We're available on every platform that we know of at this point.
Yeah.
So
we appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
Have a good one.